Hello. This is my Proxmox server. And this is the network adapter I will add on the server. I will install it during the FSense installation. I summarize the basic steps as above. I use Proxmox server instead of the main router in my house using FSense. Open any browser, log in Proxmox. Username, root, password. Enter your password. OK. This is the IP address of Proxmox. Step 1. Download FSense from the home page. FSense download. Search and download from the home page. Download the image file. AMD64 ISO. ADD to cart. Enter cart. Checkout. You register a free account to download the free image file. I already have an account and I use it to log in. The file is being downloaded. And this is the file after it is downloaded. It is compressed. You use the decompression software called i7-zip. Extract to ISO. And this is the file I need. Step 2. Upload the ISO file to the Proxmox server. Local Proxmox. ISO images. Upload. Select file. Browse to the file just downloaded from the previous step. Upload. Task OK. File has been uploaded successfully. This is the file just uploaded. Step 2 complete. Step 3. Install FSense on Proxmox. You create a new virtual machine and install FSense. Create VM. Name. FSense. Next. ISO image. Select the file just uploaded from step 2. QEMU agent. Enable. Disks. CPU. 2 cores. Type. Host. At the bottom of the list. Memory. 4 GB. 4096. Network. VMBR0. Disable firewall. Next. Finish. Here is the virtual machine I just created. It is called FSense. Set boot order. Options. Boot order. Boot from installation image file. Drag and drop to change order. Disable network boot. OK. Start FSense installation on newly created virtual machine. Console. Start now. Wait a moment. Accept. Install. Install FSense. Setup network interface. You are asked to set up the WAN interface for pfSense. Currently my server has only one network interface, so I use it as the WAN interface of pfSense. I will mark it as such. I assign net0 as the WAN interface of pfSense. Continue. LAN not assigned. I skip the LAN interface. The LAN interface will be assigned in the next step. Install CE. Continue. Stripe. Disk. OK. Yes. Software version. I select the current version. Installing. Please wait patiently for the installation to complete. Installation complete. OK. No reboot. Shell. Open command window. Power off. Shut down virtual machine. I shut down the virtual machine to install the second network interface. Hardware. After the installation is complete, I remove the installer. Remove. Ensure the virtual machine boots from the hard drive. Boot order. Step 4. Add the second network interface. Proxmox. Shutdown. Yes. Install the second network adapter. Proxmox online. Continue with the next steps. This is the new network interface. It has a different name. VMBR0, this is the default bridge 0 of the server. It uses an interface named NIC0. I use the LAN interface of pfSense. I assign the second network interface as the WAN interface of pfSense. Linux bridge. VMBR1. Bridge ports. ENP3S0. Comment. 1. Create. This is bridge 1 I just created. It will be assigned to the WAN interface of pfSense. I write down the names of the interfaces and bridges to avoid confusion in the next step. LAN. VMBR0. NIC0. 1. VMBR1. ENP3S0. Save. Apply configuration. On some different hardware, the names of the interfaces will be different, so I recommend you write down their names. Now I add the second network interface on the pfSense virtual machine. ADD. Network device. VMBR1. 1. Disable firewall. OK. The virtual machine has 2 network interfaces. Next, I assign the network interfaces to LAN and WAN. This is the current WAN interface. I log into pfSense using this IP address. To ensure FSense has been successfully installed, in the browser, enter the IP address assigned on the WAN interface. Username, password, FSense. Login successful. Setup steps for first-time login. I leave the settings as default because they can be changed after completion. You are asked to create a new admin password. 1234556. Uppercase. A lowercase. I write down the admin password. FSense admin password. 1234556. Uppercase. A lowercase. Reload. Finish. On FSense there is only one interface, and that is the WAN interface. The router cannot have only one interface. It needs to have at least two interfaces, one is WAN and one is LAN. Assign interfaces. I will assign the WAN interface on the second network interface. Enter number 1. NovLAN. Enter the WAN interface name. There are two options: VTNet0 or VTNet1. I will add notes about the interfaces to distinguish them from each other. Each interface has different names in each case. I assign one to the interface named VTNet1. Assign LAN to the interface named VTNet0. And here is the result. WAN VTNet1. LAN VTNet0. To dial on the WAN interface, I set the ISP router in bridge mode. I use FSense instead of the ISP router. Log into the ISP router. This setup depends on your internet service provider's router. 1. Use bridge mode instead of PO. Save. Disable DHCP server. LAN. Disable DHCP. I use FSense as an IP address allocation server. Use FSense as a PC router. Group the interfaces area. Advanced setup. Interface grouping. Enable. Name. WAN 1. Ethernet LAN 1. Save. I have completed the bridge mode setup on the ISP router. Next, I set up the LAN interface on pfSense. Set interface IP address. Proxmox and pfSense share the same LAN interface. Set interface IP address. Enter 2. 2 LAN. Enter 2 to set the IP address on the LAN interface. No. Do not configure the address via DHCP. Enter LAN IP address. I enter the LAN IP address the same as the ISP router's IP address, because I am using pfSense instead of the ISP router. No. Enter. Enable DHCP server. Enter the range of IP addresses to assign to clients such as phones and laptops in my house. Lost connection with Proxmox. This error occurred because there was no DHCP server in the local network. Therefore, I set up a static IP address on the computer. This pod.cpl. Wired network interface. IP version 4. Set up static IP address. IP address in the same subnet as Proxmox. DNS address. OK. Connected. Return to Proxmox. Successfully connected to Proxmox. Continue setting up pfSense. Continue the unfinished step. Enter the IP address range that the DHCP server on pfSense will assign to clients. Assign a maximum of 100 devices. Yes. You use a browser and access pfSense using this LAN IP address. I use a browser and access pfSense via the LAN interface. Using the assigned IP address. Instead of accessing the ISP router, I access pfSense. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Sign in. Interfaces, LAN and WAN. Next configuration 1 configuration for internet access. PO. Disable IPv6. Username. PO username. Password. Of course I can't tell you my password. Confirm password. Save. Apply changes. pfSense. WAN interface has been assigned to public IP. I check internet connection. Speed test. Internet OK. So I have completed the FSense installation on Proxmox. And I'm using a FSense virtual machine as a replacement for my ISP router. Thank you for watching. Console. This is the IP address assigned to the different interfaces on FSense. I checked if the DHCP server was working. I set up a dynamic IP address on this computer. It has been assigned a new IP address from FSense. Good luck.